Hey there, it's Poppy here. So how are you doing as the inversion is correcting? Sometimes we may feel like we don't know which way is up, which way is down. This inversion has been with us for hundreds and thousands of years, and we are at this point in time, this culmination, where through our consciousness, the inversion is correcting, and the hellish realm that we have been existing in is dismantling. The experimentation is almost over. We are still here, and that's the miracle. And the miracle is that this inversion is correcting because so many of us have found ourselves. We found our heart, and we found our way back to ourselves ultimately. And since we are all a fractal of Source, then we are finding our way back to Source, what is organic, what is natural. And we do this from this avatar in this existence as a living being here on a planet that's coming into correction, a planet that has lacked the light of Source for so long. It's been desperate. It's been thriving on an artificial system mostly. However, in that artificial system, the very life force of what people bring is what it's been living on. But we were tricked into handing over that life force to things that are outside of ourselves, to societies, to cultures, to administrations, to institutes, to collective pools of consciousness that were outside of Source connection. And what has been outside of that Source connection has created kind of like a hellish realm where we've been kind of experiencing the opposite of who we really are. So we are love, and this love is a cosmic kind of love. It's the love of everything in perfect flow, in harmony, in balance, in a culmination of our evolution, a realization. It's absolutely pure consciousness. And I've had a few unusual experiences lately. I have been healing a lot of the damage from torture that had kept me looping around still in self-loathing, partly. There was a lot that was created in me, and many people have been used in ritual abuse and secret space programs and all sorts. We're actually incredibly mighty souls. Everybody here living on the earth at this time that has a soul is absolutely incredible. We come here to be a part of healing this inversion. And my gosh, it's been epic. It's been like, hasn't it felt so perilous? I mean, for those of us who've actually been through the ritual abuse and the torture and all of those sorts of things, we really, really know this at a core level. We know that we're still here. We've transcended this. It's an absolute miracle, and it is because we stayed in our heart. We've stayed connected to Source, which is the only way I feel that brings us through. So many people would have lost themselves and gone over to, surrendered that consciousness for all sorts of things, like the entertainment world, it's for fame, it's for popularity, it's for what do you want to call them? The nefarious ones, the ones that have dominated or manipulated and sought to take full control of our planet, of our universe. A lot of people did sell out to that, and many people are now, if they have not realised the amazing power that they are, the amazing life force that they are, the incredible love that we really truly are, the absolute miracle that we are, a lot of people are still losing themselves to external forces, to that artificial world. Now, we have been living in an artificial world for such a long time that now, through the heart and through our experiences, through our knowing, as we go into our hearts, into ourselves, we find the possibilities and the way to get out of what has been artificially controlled and to claim back our consciousness fully. And when we do claim back our consciousness fully, we open up to so many powers which are a part of love, which are a part of source, that we can transcend it, we can transmute it, and we will find our answer. And each one of us is going to have a different answer. We've all come from different experiences, and we're the only ones who can find and land on that answer. Yes, I still look outside for answers every now and then, but I'm becoming more and more dedicated to finding them myself from within. There's some very, very tricky things that are still not resolved regarding my health. There's still blockages. There's still things that have been keeping me physically very, very, very down, and they are keeping me physically quite isolated, but it's also meant to be that, because in that isolation I have myself, I have my heart, I'm not alone. I access myself from different dimensions and different spaces. I'm never alone because I've been helping myself. I've been all over time bringing myself back into this absolute knowing of the oneness, that we are all connected, that every soul has a part, that we all contribute. And when we really, really, really access our heart, when we get through, we will find out that how our way of contributing is. I mean, I've basically let go of my whole past. I've been trained as a counsellor, a breath worker, traditional herbalism, these things. I mean, a lot of it, I haven't been able to give that out. There are still people who would want me to help and contribute, but I got to such a level of depletion that I had to just put myself first and go into this heart. And this is what we all do. It's actually quite an essential thing to do, is to put ourselves first into who am I, where do I come from, what am I doing here, and really, really knowing that with certainty, so that we're not flipping around looking for external answers from everyone and everything, when our answers are actually from within ourselves. They will come as we take time, and particularly we are nature. So if we are being with nature and feeling that oneness of nature, then we will also arrive back towards ourself and the love and the truth of who we really are. It's about authenticity. Love and truth is authentic. So if we are becoming more and more true and more authentic, then well done, it takes a lot. And it is the strongest foundation, which is helping us to break out of the inversion, kind of like the hell realm where there has been torture and suffering and pain, and there has been hostilities and all sorts of things. And as we strip away all these hostilities, which is what I just had to do, I had to be so honest in myself to admit, yes, they were still there. I was also still very emotionally charged at the upset of feeling so abandoned by others, by life, by all sorts, that it's really, really caused me to search that out, to find that. I could not feel love for the time. I had to allow myself to go deeply into a part who was like a soldier part. The soldier part was harmed. I believe it was harmed more than they intended, which disabled me with my sight, my vision, so that I couldn't actually do what was probably intended for me to do. It's quite incredible. So that part, it was a part, and I see it in so many people, and a lot of people now, if we haven't realised who we are, they will be reacting out the torture and the pain and the abuse that they've had, feeling that everything comes from the outside and it must be grabbed or it must be taken from others, whereas actually it can be self-generated from within. But we're learning this, and I'm learning this, and so I had to confront this this part, which was terribly brutalized and tormented, and this part had felt so abandoned and so alone that it had resentment towards societies, people, everything. And I had to really go fully into this part and feel it and know it and know a little bit more about what it went through, and to really love it and love this little soldier part of me that was being designed to be a killer, and to bring her back into me and hold her close to me. I'm the only one that could do that. Nobody else can do that for me. So we are the only ones that can do this for ourselves. And it's been such a huge relief because so much of that hostility has released and it has gone, and I'm being left more just with the authentic, loving part of me, feeling very connected with Source and with nature and myself. And it's actually like my vision has changed. So my vision was harmed by probably too high an electric shock dose, and it split my brain. But it's funny because it's almost like my brain is knitting back together, and the coordination will come back, but my sight's coming back. But it's really hard to explain. It's not pineal gland sight. It's not my physical eyesight. It's almost like the sight of the soul. I'm experiencing these flashes of the sight of the soul from within my physical form, that it's happening. So it's like a merging of myself altogether. Now we are going to experience more and more of our gifts opening up. The footage in this video today, the butterflies on this beautiful plant. Now, what was happening was that the other day I was just watching the butterflies on this plant, and it's like my whole vision changed, and I could see all the colours. There was just so much colour, like more than what we see with our eyes. I could see the indigos and the purples in the butterflies' wings. I could see all the greys and the blues and all the tones in the leaves. It was like I was just so captivated by this sight, and I feel like we are going to be seeing more with the real eyes of the soul, and knowing more, like we're going to come more and more into the wonder and the beauty of everything that is, where we just know and see people's souls for who they are immediately, that any nefarious deeds that people have towards one another, these are not allowed anymore. It's actually breaking down, and if people do try to do anything harmful, it will actually go back to them very, 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 very quickly. And this is part of our way of moving forward, is that we cannot do anything harmful. We need to dismiss and heal and resolve any feelings of hostility, animosity, because they also reflect on outer wars outside of ourselves. So as inside, so outside. So we're going to see war will start to diminish, I guess, as more and more and more of us come into our hearts and take up the authentic nature of who we really are, who we really remember ourselves to be. So it's just so vital and so important to spend this time, like however it is, like it might be in nature, it could be fishing, it could be gardening, it could be, it's definitely time away from devices, away from the artificial things that are really trying to grab and vie for attention. Yeah, I've actually felt a little bit of sadness. There's lovely, beautiful people I've seen who I've seen them just go deeply, deeply into the flirtation of the AI. And, you know, it's very captivating because it's kind of like, wow, you can get all of this knowledge, but it's not the pure, authentic source knowledge. It's actually without that. It is actually knowledge that is on the cloud, or it's a shared knowledge, but it's not the pure source knowledge which is going to make all the difference in this world. We will come back to we are the discerners, we are the co-creators, we are the contributors, we are the ones who co-create. So in our body, our physical body, our avatar is so vital and so essential. So let's love it, nurture it, give it what it needs, and everybody's going to have different needs at different times, and we are the only ones who really know what we really need, and that we instruct ourselves and inform ourselves. And this is the greatest love, because we become the greatest love, and out of the greatest love, then we will build these communities that we will go forward together. And we will be ripe for these communities, because these communities will be based fully on the love that we truly are, on our authenticity. And we are tribal. We are tribal people, and instead of being herded into artificial realms and societies and institutions and ways, we can create these ways forward that harmonise with Mother Earth, that harmonise with Source, that are of Source, that are born of Source, because we are that. Yeah, so I really want to encourage that. And just so much love to everybody. You're all so vital, and your contribution is so much more than we can possibly see. And I just know now, you know, like when I had to deal with the torture of this child, I had to, with Source, I had to deal with its origin, which I was dealing with the CIA. They will not be able to do what they once were able to do the more that we come into ourselves. And so many survivors, and I really want to say like a big shout out to survivors, and this is also the ones that, you know, have had lifetimes of being used and used for warfare purposes and all sorts. But the thing is that we stayed in our hearts, and this is the victory, this is the triumph, and this is how we move forward, because we do so much. We have done so much in clearing out the harm, and clearing out the forces that have been nefarious, the things that have opposed life and creation here. So big shout out to you all, and also for loving so much that we also support one another now, and that we will find our way forward, and we will have the healing sanctuaries, and we will complete our healing, and what's been hanging on, the damage that may still have come into our physicality, it will lift from us, it will come away from us. We will find our way, and as we start to trust the authenticity in one another as well, but first and foremost the authenticity which is within ourselves. So much love to you all.